everybody, my name is Mars, you can call me MG if you'd like, and today we are going to be talking about the 25-ish books I wanted to read in 2025 and whether or not I actually read them. This is my third attempt at filming this video. I have been interrupted 2 times before by road work happening literally 2 houses down from me. It's on the corner of my street, and the past 2 days I was interrupted by that and got very upset. So today, I got up early, we're trying to get it done before they come and rip up the road some more. And we're gonna try and speedrun this a little bit. In my previous attempts, I was gonna give you, like, my full thoughts on all of these books that I've read. Today, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna rapid fire this, and I've got my little list in front of me so that I don't have to remember 25 books, and we're just gonna get right to it. So first up, we have the books that were part of my physical TBR section of this 25 in 2025. First up, we had The Poppy War, which I read as part of my RF Kuang author taste test vlog, so I will link that down below in case you want a little bit more detail on my thoughts on this, but overall, I enjoyed it. I didn't love it. It didn't become a new favorite. Then we had The Magicians by Lev Grossman, and I thought this was okay. I think I liked the TV show more than I liked the book. I just didn't really connect with it very well, so I don't think I'm going to continue on with that series. Then we have The Outsiders, which I read as part of the Nostalgia Train book club a few months ago, and I absolutely loved this. I do think I would have gotten a little bit more out of it had I read it as a child, but I still had a really good time, and I loved discussing it with my friends. Then we have Frenchman's Creek by Daphne du Maurier, and I ended up DNFing this, not because I thought it was bad, I just was kind of bored. I wasn't, like, super into it the way I was when I read Rebecca, so a little bit of a bummer, but it happens sometimes. And then the last book from my physical TBR section was The Merchant of Venice, which I did read, and it's not my favorite Shakespeare, but I'm still glad that I read it because I am a big fan of Shakespeare, and so I'm trying to read all of his works, and this was another one to tick off, so I am 5 for 5 from my physical TBR section. The next section is Dark Academia books, and the first one on that list is Babel, which I also read as part of my RF Kuang author taste test vlog, and same with The Poppy War. I enjoyed it, I had a good time while reading it, I can see how well it was written, it just didn't become, like, a favorite for me. I'm not completely obsessed with it, but again, link in the description for that vlog if you're interested in checking out my thoughts in a little bit more detail. Then we have A Dark and Drowning Tide, and I DNF'd this one. I was not connecting with any of the characters. They were honestly all pretty unlikable, and I was getting upset with them for kind of like stupid decisions they were making, so I cut my losses and moved on. Then we have Anatomy, a Love Story, and I actually ended up reading this book and its sequel, Immortality, back to back, and they were fun. I didn't enjoy them as much as I thought I was going to, but they were still a good time, and the covers are still some of my favorite covers I've ever seen. Then we have Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, and this was part of my Leigh Bardugo author taste test vlog, and it was a conflicting book while reading it. I couldn't decide whether or not I liked it or I didn't, but then when I got to the end of it, I was like, actually, I'm kind of obsessed with these characters and their vibe and the whole aesthetic of the book, and I wanted to immediately pick up Hellbent, but I had to put that off for a little bit, but when I did pick it up, I was also obsessed with that one, and I need a million more Alex Stern books. Then we have A Lesson in Vengeance, which I also did read, and I really enjoyed this one. I'm actually going to be using it as a comp title for my own Dark Academia story, Quite Contrary, and I didn't go into this book expecting it to be a comp title, but I'm glad that it is because it's a really fun book, and I think it has similar vibes to the story that I'm writing. So again, for the Dark Academia section, I am 5 for 5. The third section of my 25 in 2025 is my rereads, and the first one is Zodiac by Romina Russell. Speaking a little bit too fast here, but I'm trying to get this done before the construction workers come. This, I did read the whole thing, but ultimately decided that I did not enjoy it as much as I did the first time I read it many, many years ago, and so I will not be continuing on with this series. Then we have The Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa, and this one I DNF'd, unfortunately. This is one that I was actually very excited to reread to continue on with the series because I really enjoy Japanese mythology, and I remember enjoying this book the first time I read it. I'm just very bad at continuing on with series, but this time around I did not enjoy this book. Then we have The Witch King by H.E. Edgman, and this is another one that I remember really, really enjoying the first time I read it, which also wasn't too long ago. It was in like 2021, but this was another DNF for me, so I will not be continuing on with the series. But yeah, I didn't enjoy the character work, and the world building didn't really make any sense to me, and I also was not a fan of the writing style. So 3 strikes on that one, and I think I only got like 10% in, if even that. It might have been even less. And then the last reread on the list was Beauty Queens by Libba Bray, and I did reread this and absolutely loved it. Definitely the standout favorite of this list. Oh, actually, I skipped one. We'll come back to it. Beauty Queens is still the standout favorite from this list. It was just so fun. It was also the one I was the most nervous about reading because it's the most outside my normal wheelhouse of reading taste, but it's just so good, and it has really solidified Libba Bray as a potential favorite author. I still want to read a couple more books of hers before I fully say that she is a favorite, but I did enjoy it. The one that I skipped over on the list was House of Furies by Madeleine Roux, and I did really, really love this one when I reread it too. I remember this was my favorite book of the year when I first read it, and it is not the case for this one, but I did really enjoy it, and I've actually since read the rest of the trilogy. The other 2 books, not my favorite. They're fun, but they just don't live up to that first book. But yeah, House of Furies was so good. So I am 5 for 5 on rereads too. I am kind of killing the list this far, so let's continue and see if that holds true. The 4th category of books that are on my 25 and 2025 list are series to finish, and these are all series that I had 2 books to read from in order to finish them. One of them, there's also like a bonus, but we'll get to that. The first thing on the list was Fortuna Sworn. In February, I decided I wanted to DNF this series, so I replaced it with the Summoner series, and I did finish this. I read books 2 and 3 in the trilogy, and I read the prequel, and I had a fantastic time. I love this series so much. I would read a million books set in this world. Unfortunately, there are no more, but Taran Matharu does have a few other series that I'm very interested in checking out because there's something about his writing style and his characters that are just very entertaining to me. Like, I have a very good time while reading them. Then we have the Graceling Realm series by Kristen Cashore, and I did read Winterkeep, and I'm currently reading Sea Sparrow. I'm about halfway through. A very large book, but it will get read. So I have not quite finished this series yet, but I will be finishing it. Then we have Emily Wilde, which I have read book 2. I've read Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands, really enjoyed it. Oh, for the Graceling Realm, was not the hugest fan of Winterkeep. Probably my least favorite in the series. Sea Sparrow is conflicting, but I am enjoying it a little bit more than I enjoyed Winterkeep. Emily Wilde, enjoyed Map of the Otherlands, have not yet read Compendium of Lost Tales, but at the time of filming this, there's still 2 weeks left in the year, so I am cautiously optimistic that I will find the time to do so. So I will, at the end of the year, come back and leave a comment if I do end up reading that last book, just so I can, like, update you on that. Then we have The Last Binding by Freya Marski. I did read books 2 and 3 in this trilogy as well and loved them. Book 2 is probably my least favorite in the series, not because I disliked it, but just because I absolutely adored book 1 and book 3, book 3 being my favorite, which is a surprise, but I just really thought that the series plot wrapped up so well, and it's also my favorite dynamic between the couple in that book, because this is fantasy historical romance, and each book follows a different couple, but along one main story arc. And the couple in book 3, chef's kiss, absolutely love them. This series is fantastic, highly recommend if that's the vibe you're into. I am doing a bad job at rapid firing this, I feel, but I'm just gonna keep going. I just really like talking about these books, I guess. But the last series I wanted to finish was the All Our Hidden Gifts series by Caroline O'Donoghue. And I did finish this one as well. I actually just recently finished it, like a couple of weeks ago. And this is another series where I loved it, but it's not like an absolute number one favorite. I would highly recommend it to people, but if people ask me, "Oh, what's your favorite like book series?" I wouldn't go for this one. I feel like it just got a little bit too convoluted. Like the books just got a little bit too long for what I thought the story needed. But it was still a good time. I still really enjoy the character work in this. I feel like that's where this book series shines, is in the characters. So for the series to finish, I am currently 3 for 5, will be 4 for 5 by the end of this week. By the end of the year, maybe I'll have read that last Emily Wilde book, but we will see. And finally, the last category of books is my series to continue. These are series that had 3 or more books left for me to read, and my goal was just to read one of them, and I would have considered that checked off series continued, so it would be a win in my book. The first one is the Wax and Wane series by Brandon Sanderson. This is Mistborn Era 2, and I actually finished the series. I read books 2, 3, and 4 in very rapid succession in the spring because I was absolutely obsessed with them, and I would consider this to be my favorite series of all time at this point in time. I just love it so much. All the characters are amazing. The plot is so good. And like I loved Mistborn Era 1, but Era 2 just took it to the next level for me, which I feel like is an unpopular opinion. I feel like people enjoy Mistborn Era 2, but it's never anyone's favorite Brandon Sanderson from what I've seen. If it's your favorite of the Brandon Sanderson works, let me know down in the comments that I'm not alone, because this was just so absolutely amazing to me. And I do have to read more Brandon Sanderson, but I don't think anything of his will outshine Wax and Wane, in my opinion. That's how much I absolutely love it. Then we have The Diviners by Libba Bray, another Libba Bray book on this list, and I did continue this. I read book 2, Lair of Dreams. I was just very resistant to continue this for some reason. It might be because the books are very large, honestly, but I did enjoy this, and I have 2 more to go. So I'm hoping that I can get those done soon because this is a series I could see myself putting off so long that I have to go back and reread the earlier books in order to continue on, and I don't want to do that. I feel bad when that happens, so I just want to get it done in a timely manner. Then we have An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir, and I did continue this. I read book 2, A Torch Against the Night, and this is another series that I'm enjoying, but I'm not absolutely loving. It's not a favorite or anything, but it's like good enough that I'm having a fun time while reading it. I do think I liked book 1 more than book 2, but this is another series that I'm hoping to continue sooner rather than later and give it the attention that it deserves and not let it languish on my series tracker list for too long. Then we had Animorphs, which I definitely did not finish, but I did read 2 more books in the series. I think it was 11 and 12 or 12 and 13. I honestly don't remember. I also don't remember like the names of them, so that's not helpful. One of them was The Reaction, I think. Yes, because that one I didn't really like. I thought it was a little bit too silly, but the other one that I read, whether it was the one right before The Reaction or right after, I did enjoy. So I did continue on with the Animorphs. And then we have Ice Planet Barbarians, which I read the next 4 books in, one of which was a collection of 4 novellas. Well, I guess they're all kind of novellas because they're quite short. 4 short stories, maybe? And then 3 actual books. And I loved them. I love Ice Planet Barbarians. It's one of my favorite series. It's so fun. But I am so keen on continuing for the next book because it is a dynamic that I cannot wait to read. It's Maddie and Hassan. Is that how his name is pronounced? It's their romance, and I can already tell I'm gonna be obsessed with it. Although I did really enjoy Josie and Hayden's story, and also Lila and Rokon? Is that his name? I'm very bad at remembering the alien names, but I think that's it. But those 2 are 2 of my favorite dynamics that we've had so far. But I can't wait to read more of these books. But that means I am 5 for 5 on continuing series 2. So the final statistics is out of the 25-ish books I said that I was going to read, I have read all except for 1.5. So one will definitely be finished, and that is why I am so, like, hopeful that I can read that last Emily Wilde book, because if I read all of these books and then there was only one left that I didn't finish to, like, complete out the entire list, I would be so upset. There's a bus going by. My apologies. But the construction people haven't arrived yet, I don't think, so that's good. But yeah, I really hope I can read the last Emily Wilde book and finish out this whole list in its entirety. I've never completed 100% a blank in blank list, my 25 and 2025, 24 and 24, right? Yeah, never completed them, so 25 might be the first one. So, very hopeful on that one. And now that I've talked so much that my jaw literally hurts, I'm going to call it here. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone.